This is the way that the earliest lace makers worked, holding the threads in their hands, and I love that whole feeling of the bobbins. When I start making lace, it's like my hands unlock my brain, basically. When I take it up after I haven't been doing it for a while, I think, oh, it's like a relief. And I can get right back into it, and I love the feeling of my hands moving like this. And I know that if I sit at it, you can be trying to think about a way of doing something for another project, say, and if you sit at your lace pillow doing something mindless and easy like this particular one, the solution comes to you. All the techniques that are used in needle lace, for example, existed for centuries before in nets that were made for carrying things, thousands of years ago. There are cave rock paintings here in Australia which show figures carrying nets. And we know that the Aborigines used looping techniques, which is what needle lace is. And the same with a lot of the other needle-based techniques. They all have an historic origin.
In the past, people were doing it for a living and in really appalling conditions. I really think the beauty and the rhythm of lace would have really helped them get through those really tough times, and a connection to community as well that comes with lace making and the people that you make it with. That's something that's really special.
The ingenuity of the early lace makers who had no teachers really excepting other lace makers, they had to make up all the stitches and techniques themselves. And it was really a very creative occupation.
So everything we do now with the new ideas and different ideas, it's just a continuation of what went before us, because we are building on the knowledge that they gave us, on the techniques that they did. And so we're learning from that all the time. So I think it is important to learn from the history, learn from that and build on it.
And if you don't have a proper appreciation of where it's come from, it's like any human endeavour. You have to know the historical context before you can move it on.
It's so labour intensive, and it takes so much time and effort and skill, and especially those very fine and delicate works that you see. And it breaks my heart that people don't value it in the same way these days. They'll throw out the, crocheted heirlooms, tablecloths, and, jug covers and, blankets, because they just don't see any value in it anymore, which is such a shame. I guess what I'm trying to do at the same time is to create some kind of relevance to what could be seen as irrelevant. How can I make people of today really respond to crochet again and see that it can develop and it can change and it can have a new expression?
I think contemporary lace makers, at the beginning of last century, there was no lace made for fashion. It had died a natural death, basically. But the techniques fascinated a lot of people, especially in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and they took it up as an art form. And that was really important development, to see its potential as an art form.
this piece has actually travelled and been put onto my house and is now in Uralla. And so all those connections to the piece and the feelings that have passed through the people who have witnessed the piece are kind of within that work, and it's taken on a bit of a new meaning about the connection to place and wherever it's put and the experience that people have when they see the work.
I just really want to see how far we can push handcraft to really give it a new kind of expression and language. So the technique that I use is fillet crochet, which is really simple. The essential technique is very, very simple. And there are really complicated patterns. So I'm just trying to play with those ideas of old techniques, new techniques, and how I can make something a hybrid, really, something that's new.
I guess our aims are really to demonstrate that lace is very much alive in the community and that it's a living textile, and there are new techniques that are being made, but also that we respect the traditions of the past, and it's a really dynamic textile art that's still being practiced today. So it's really exciting.
I think it's really important to have that connection with making, actually. I think these days people very often, consume, purchase, discard, and don't really, think too much about how things are made. And if you don't understand or know how things are made, then you don't value them.
The whole relationship between your head and your hands is incredibly important. It is almost a meditation, yes, definitely. Yeah. Yes, definitely.